Hey everyone, and welcome back to Budget with Alicia. Today's video is going to be a little bit different. It is a little bit late, but I'm going to be going over my 2020 financial goals and how I ended up making out or faring out with them, and then also going through what my new 2021 goals are and my new savings challenges. Now, there's only a couple of saving challenges, but we'll get to those when we get there. So my first goal for 2020 was to become 100% debt free, which I did become debt free as of it was July of last year. I think I had about 10,000 or somewhere between 9 and 10,000 left over to pay off in 2020, and I was able to accomplish that goal. So I'm super excited that that goal did end up getting finished. My next goal for 2020 was to begin funding my fully emergency fund. I wanted $6,000 originally when I started my 2020 goals, but I ended up finishing it off with $5,000 instead. And I decided to do that because I need to start saving for a new car. I'm really worried that my car is going to start crapping out on me. So because of that, I decided to do $5,000 for now, because based on what I actually do spend currently, because I live at home, it is more than 6 months of my expenses. But I do want to actually eventually buff it, like bring it up to what it would be if I actually had full rent and utilities and stuff, so that I actually have a really good emergency fund. So I'll probably end up making it 10,000 eventually. But for now, I'm sticking to 5,000 and working on my car fund, which we will get to in the next in the 2021 goals. My third goal was to begin contributing to a replacement car fund. So I knew that my car is a very old car. It's 2003, and it's still running fine and everything, but I just know that I want to be prepared for when that day comes. So I did start contributing to it. I think I have about $1,300 currently in my fund for a car. So we did continue or start doing that. Next was to strive to keep gazelle intensity. Don't buy anything that isn't necessary until the student loans are gone. This I definitely did contribute or did complete. I did not spend very much money in the first half of 2020. I have had a bit of a struggle not spending money now that I am debt free, so I do need to work on that in the new year. But I was able to keep as much intensity as possible up until I was debt free. Number 5 was contributing to a giving fund. I did contribute to a giving fund. I actually contributed to 2 different ones. One was Christmas giving, and then one was just normal giving or random acts of kindness. So if you haven't seen my Christmas giving video, I will link it down below for you guys to go check out. But I did end up doing a couple of different giving funds, so that's awesome. My 6th goal was do better than last year at tracking things as soon as they are spent, so I don't get confused. This one is a bit of a hit and miss. Like, I'm not the best at doing it. Like, not the best at, like, if I go grocery shopping, tracking it right away. I really need to get better at that. So I'm going to put an X on that one. I didn't do terribly. I did end up figuring it out, but I still was confused quite a bit of the year trying to figure out exactly what I spent and where I spent it. So I think I need to start either keeping all the receipts so that at least I know when I do track, or trying to track like every day or two so I don't get confused. Number 7 was to listen to at least one Dave Ramsey podcast per day to keep motivation. I didn't end up completing this goal. I do not watch his podcast near that often. I used to, but I haven't been for the last while. I do still listen to it maybe once a week or twice a week, but I haven't been listening to it every day. That being said, I still think that I did keep great motivation regardless, but I did not accomplish that goal. Number 8 was to introduce a new side hustle or 2, maybe even a second job. With COVID-19, I pretty much just stuck to my current job. Not that I'm going to leave or anything, I would never, but I didn't implement any new side hustles or a second job because of that. I was thinking about getting a job for the summer or something, waitressing or doing something like that, but when COVID hit, it wasn't really a possibility. So I didn't end up accomplishing that goal either, but I will hopefully be able to maybe next year or this year, I guess. Number 9 is continue to share my story on Instagram as I continue to on my financial journey. I definitely do that. If you aren't already following my Instagram, it's Budget with Alicia. Make sure to follow me there. And number 10 is to cut all expenses that you do not need to be saving for until after I am debt free. So what this one basically meant was to stop contributing as much to sinking funds until I was debt free, which I did definitely accomplish. So I did, out of 10 goals, I managed to do 7. And they were the 7 more important ones. The other ones do play a factor for sure, but I'm very happy with how 2020 ended up going. I wasn't actually quite sure that it would be as well as it was. I did know that obviously I was debt free, and I knew that was one of my goals, but I hadn't even looked at this sheet of what my goals were until I sat down to film this video. So it's pretty exciting that I actually did do quite a few of them. I'll leave this up so you guys can read them if you want to quickly, but I did read them to you. But yeah, so let's move on to what my 2021 goals are going to be. Some of them might be a little bit similar, but they are different, obviously. So my first is to save $10,000 for a new car. This is going to be my main goal for 2021, is saving for a new car. Number 2 is to track my expenses and spending more intently, which is what one of those was on the other, like last year as well, and I wasn't doing so well with, but I'm going to try and do better. Number 3 was make sure to put money in the highest priority items first. So for this, sometimes I get a little preoccupied being like, oh, I really need to put money in something, or I really need to buy this or whatever. And I'm going to try and cut back on that and go back to the priority, and whatever the priority sinking funds are, or the priorities that I have that at that time, I'm going to try and put them first. Number 4, try and spend as little from sinking funds as I can this year and limit unnecessary spending. So for this year, I would like to try and beef up all my sinking funds and get them all nice and funded with a decent amount of money, and try not to spend as much as I possibly can. I know that there'll be some sinking funds that I won't really have a choice and I will have to spend some money in, but I'm going to try my best to not spend in things that don't need to be spent. Number 5, stay motivated by creating new savings challenges. So I do have some new savings challenges. We'll talk about that as soon as we're done the list. But I do have a couple of new ones, and then a couple of ones that are the same as last year. Number 6, if COVID-19 allows, look for another job part-time to increase income. So that will be a goal hopefully for this summer, as long as things are well. Number 7, increase retirement contribution to $3,000 in 2021. So last year, I believe I contributed $2,100. I could be wrong about that number. I don't have it in front of me. So I'm hoping to get up to $3,000 for 2021. Number 8, begin saving towards a down payment on a home. So once I am done my new car fund, I will start working on a down payment for a house. But we'll see how far we get. I do have a couple of more expenses this year. I have been going to therapy, which does cost a bit more, or a bit of money, which has increased my my bills, or whatever you want to call it. So I don't have quite as much money able to go towards things. So I'm just really sticking to this car thing first, and then I'll start working on my down payment. Continue to share my journey on Instagram and YouTube. Perfect. Number 10, start up my budget coaching business. So I have actually, if you're this far in the video and you're actually watching, I have actually created a workbook and guide that goes through all the steps to starting out with paying off debt, and I'm really, really proud of it. I just haven't quite released it yet. I've still been trying to work out some of the kinks and figure that out, and I wanted to be able to also offer budgeting coaching and like kind of just a accountability partner, to say the least, service, as well as just the book. So I've been trying to work on some of that and figure out my business plan and stuff for that. So I'm hoping to be able to get that up and running in 2021. If you'd be interested in something like that, or interested in the book, comment down below or message me on Instagram so that I know that you guys would be interested in that. And I also added another one, 11, save for my wisdom teeth operation so I can pay it in full. So I will have to get my wisdom teeth out probably this year. I'm hoping that I can get away with waiting until like the beginning of next year to actually get them done. because I have to save quite a bit of money. They're probably going to be about $3,000 because I don't have any insurance. So I'm hoping that they can wait. That they're not hurting or anything, but one of them is poking out, and my dentist thinks that I should get them out. So I have been working on trying to save for that, which is why I did put a lot in dental in my last couple of paychecks, if you guys watched the stuffings for those. So that is all of my goals for 2021. So for my savings challenges, I will still be continuing to save all of my change and putting them in my change compartments. Hopefully those will be full by my 2-year budgeting anniversary, which is July 1st. So we'll see if those are. If they are, then I'll probably open them, or I might wait until the end of 2021 to open them. I haven't really decided. So it's one of the two, but we will eventually open those guys up. I don't have a lot of change every 2 weeks, so it's taking a long time to fill them. They're quite big jars. They're like this, like, I can't really explain it, but they're big. They're not like the size of a soup can. They're much bigger. So they've been taking a long time. My second is obviously saving all of the money as much as I can from cash envelopes. And what I will be doing is a little bit different this year, because I had done a poll on my Instagram a couple of months ago asking people if they thought that I should put whatever's left over in cash envelopes into sinking funds that I chose, that I had done last year, or if I should save them. And so I've decided to kind of do a mixture of two different things. So what I'm going to be doing is I made these little envelopes. Now I just made them myself, so every single one looks different. But basically in here, it's kind of two sets of a challenge. So this is the original challenge. Inside it has 2 amounts of money. So basically it's 52 amounts of money. But because I'm doing it in paychecks, I just put 2 amounts. So here I have $20. So then I will pull that envelope out for every single pay period, the pay period beforehand, so that I can add it into my budget and make sure that it fits. And I'll be putting that amount of money from my actual budget into this envelope, as well as 50% of anything that I save from my cash envelopes. So if I have $30 left over from my gas or food or spending or any of those, then I will put $15 in here and put $15 in whatever it is that I decide to put it in my sinking funds. So if I decide that I need an extra $15 in hair and makeup, let's just say, then I'll put it in there, but I'll put 50% always in here. So then I'll have whatever the amount was that I contribute. So the $20 is what this one says. $5 for 1 week and $15 for the next. So that will be $20 plus 50% of whatever it is that I save. If that doesn't make sense, I will hopefully try and explain it again in my next cash envelope stuffing, because that will be the first pay period with this being implemented. But yeah, so if you guys have any questions at all, I know I rambled quite a bit, but if you guys have any questions about my goals or anything like that. Oh, actually, before I do that, I did want to say one other thing quickly. Just 1 second here. Because I wanted to let you guys know that my net worth from January 1st, 2020 was negative $3,922.85. And as of the end of 2020, it was $17,062. So I am super, super proud of that. I can't even believe it. I really did not think that I had saved as much money as I had, because I really did feel like I was behind the ball after becoming debt free. I felt like I was spending too much money, but I'm really, really proud of that. So I'm super excited that happened. So I'm just keep saying the same thing over and over. I'm sorry. Okay, so I guys will let you guys go, but if you guys have any questions, or if you want to let me know what your guys' goals are, let me know down in the comments below. Bye guys.